Hey guys, in this video we're gonna be checking out the top 10 best retro game consoles that are available on the market for their true quality. I made this list based on my personal opinion and hours of research, and I've listed them based on quality, durability, price, and more. I've included options for every type of consumer, so if you're looking for an entry-level option or the best product money can buy, we all have the product for you. If you want more information and updated pricing on the products mentioned, be sure to check the links in the description down below. Okay, so let's get started with the video. Starting at number 10, we have the Evercade Express. The Evercade Express is the perfect blend of modern tech and retro gaming at a sensible price. Although at the time of writing, it's only 1 month away from being replaced by the newer Evercade EXP model, which is available to pre-order right now. And there's even a bundle that includes the original Tomb Raider games 1 to 3. It comes in a new charcoal gray color scheme with turquoise buttons, and a textured grip for comfort. For my thoughts on the original Express handheld, keep reading below and check out my Evercade Express review. The original Evercade, below at number 3 on my list, remains an excellent device, but this newer console is weightier, better made, features a beautiful 800 by 480 IPS OLED display, and built-in Wi-Fi, and overall it feels like a modern console that just happens to play old games. Moving on at number 9, we have the Hypermeate Super Pocket. The Hypermeate Super Pocket is made by the same team behind the excellent Evercade Express above, and it's compatible with that handheld's library of game cartridges. This amounts to around 45 carts and over 500 games. What makes this smaller Super Pocket so good is the price. At $59 per £49, it's more than half the price of the larger Evercade Express, but for that you do get a downgrade in features and particularly screen resolution and size. As the name suggests, the Super Pocket is, well, pocket-sized. This small retro handheld comes in 2 models, one preloaded with 18 Taito arcade games, the other with 12 Capcom games. Which you choose will depend on your tastes or if you own some of the games already. Capcom's titles are available on modern games consoles. At number 8, we have the Evercade Versus. This console is the under-TV version of the Evercade Express. See my number 1? So not a handheld retro console but more of a traditional console in that sense. It brings some interesting design ideas to the retro game console market, notably the classic cartridge system, which gets a boost as you can now slot in 2 at once, the same ones as the Evercade Express. This also unlocks the Evercade V's clever feature. By inserting combinations of cartridges you can unlock hidden games. For example, slot in both Toplan collections to unlock a Mega Drive version of Twin Hawk. The Evercade VS Premium Edition comes with a Technos Arcade 1 and Data East Arcade 1 cartridge. I prefer the Express, but for 2-player couch gaming, it's good fun. A big part of Evercade VS is you can play multiplayer games. The console comes with 2 NES-like controllers and the game packs included in the premium pack are co-op focused. The Technos Arcade 1 cart, for example, features the excellent Double Dragon 2. Of course, this is not quite so unique these days, as other retro consoles on my list also come with 2 controllers and games that support multiplayer, in particular Sega Mega Drive Mini 2. At number 7, we have the Atari 2600 Plus. The Atari 2600 Plus is one of the newest retro games console on my list and is a little different to the others here, as it's not a mini and doesn't come with pre-installed games. The Atari 2600 Plus is a unique gaming museum of sorts that is a near full-sized replica of the original 1977 games console and comes with a classic joystick and a 10-in-1 cartridge loaded with some of Atari's greatest hits, including Adventure, Yar's Revenge and my favorite retro game of all time, Missile Command, some of the best video games of the 80s. This is the best retro game console for Atari my list, as while there are cheaper options, such as the My Arcade Atari Game Station Pro console, this new one can play old Atari cartridges from Atari 2600 and the Atari 7800. I'd prefer this home, under the TV, option over the new My Arcade Atari Pocket Player Pro 2. See the also tested section, as being able to play those old carts makes all the difference. At number 6, we have the Analogue Pocket. The Analogue Pocket is one of the classier retro game consoles on my list and can play pretty much every Game Boy, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance cartridge released. This also means the Analogue Pocket isn't an emulation console like the minis on this guide, but plays games off the carts as you would have done years ago. This is such a lovingly well-made retro console. The display is a vibrant 3.5-inch, 615 pixels per inch, LCD screen with a 160 by 1440p resolution. It's a modern display that makes all those old Game Boy games look wonderful, something we noted in our Analogue Pocket review. If you want to play as Nintendo intended, you can too, as the Analogue Pocket is capable of replicating the backlight LCD effects, pixel grid patterns and LCD sub-pixel patterns of the original Game Boy handhelds. At number 5, we have the SNES Nintendo Classic Mini. The Nintendo SNES Classic Edition is a wonderful replica mini that enables you to play some of the best games ever made, including Super Mario World, on era-accurate controllers. But its popularity also means this rare retro console can cost 3 times what it did at launch. The SNES was the successor to the NES, with more advanced games. The model you get depends on where you live. US gamers can buy the angular North American Super Famicom version with purple accents and controller buttons. The Super NES version, with its more colorful, rounded design with red, blue, yellow, and green buttons, is for UK users. Everything else is pretty much as you remember. At number 4, we have the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2. The Sega Mega Drive Mini 2, or Sega Genesis Mini 2, for US, is an excellent follow-up to the previous small retro console, the Sega Mega Drive Mini. This edition features 60 games, including bonus titles that have never been released before. The eye-catching titles, however, are the mix of Sega Mega CD games that feature in the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2's roster. Sega hasn't really offered these late Mega Drive releases before, which is why I'd opted for this over the original Sega Mega Drive Mini. This was a muddled time for Sega as it transitioned from 16 to 32-bit gaming, and it tells. Some games are true generational leaps, such as Virtua Racing, while some use the format to add music and video to older releases, such as the Ninja Warriors. Curiosities include FMV game Night Trap, one of the best FMV games, and Shooter Sylpheed CD that uses pre-rendered backgrounds. Naturally, Sonic CD is included. At number 3, we have the Amiga A500 Mini. The Amiga A500 Mini is a tiny replica of the Amiga 500, the home computer that launched many coders' and developers' careers. Arguably, the likes of Team 17 wouldn't exist without this computer. When I wrote my full A500 Mini review, I found the general build and responsiveness of the console and its controllers. It supports both a gamepad and mouse, to be excellent. The pre-installed games are a mixed bag of classics and curiosities from the late 1980s and as well as some of the best video games of the 90s. I really enjoy dipping back into the likes of Cadaver, Speedball 2 and Alien Breed. Stunt Car Racer remains a forgotten masterpiece, and Adventure Simon the Sorcerer will impress anyone brought up on Lucasfilm point and click adventures. At number 2, we have the Sony PlayStation Classic. The Sony PlayStation Classic, released to celebrate Sony's first foray into console gaming, landed with the force of a bomb. As well as being immensely popular at the time, the PlayStation established a lineage of machines that continue to dominate the market today. As such, it was inevitable that they'd bring the original back for a lap of honor. This re-release reduces the console's size and adds USB and HDMI cable ports. Other than that, it's been left exactly as it appeared in the era of the Spice Girls and Friends. And honestly, why would you change anything about it? It was always a gorgeous machine to begin with, thanks to its simple design, friendly oversized buttons, and eye-catching disc tray. The replicas of the PlayStation controllers are just as excellent, and because they are USB, can be used on other consoles or PC emulation. It's easy to plug and play, and the package overall is of a high quality. And finally, at number 1, we have the Build Your Own RetroPi system. This is for makers and tinkerers. It's not just a classic game system, but a fun project that involves minor electronic work and programming, or at least Linux configuration. It's also fairly cheap, in theory, and you can do nearly anything with it that its processor can handle. These little microcomputers are hard to get, but there are several similar devices that can serve the same purpose, like the Libre La Potato, Orange Pi 5, and Odroid N2 Plus. Thanks you for watching guys, I hope you liked this video. If this video is helpful to you, please make sure like, comment and subscribe. If you have any question related to this product you can leave a comment down below. I will get back to you as soon as possible.